Live from the Icebox Studio in Montgomeryville, Pennsylvania. It's the Bill and Corey Show. I'm Bill.
And I'm Corey.
Hey, welcome back to another episode. We're gonna have fun today, at least for the first question.
Oh, we have fun every time.
Yeah,
Are you acting as
this is, I don't know, this is extra fun.
Okay, I'll take extra
So the
fun.
first question is gonna be extra fun. The other questions, we'll see how it goes.
They'll be just fun.
They'll be just fun. And yes, we do have the YouTube chat set up, so if you have any questions about what we're doing, just go ahead and type them in there, or you can send us a question later. First question is that we had a customer that wanted a two-stage regulator. This is a two-stage regulator. And they wanted to have it so the inlet was on the right side and the outlet was on the left side. And the way that this has 6 ports in it, but the way it's ported is we couldn't flip it over and have it work properly. So that lies in the problem. Mm-hmm. So today we're going to show, Corey's going to do the first one. He's going to take a dual stage regulator and he's going to show the different ports. There's ports are labeled H for high, L for low, and I for interstage. Mm-hmm. So you can move these around and we'll show you. So you can put the high pressure stuff in the high pressure ports and the low pressure stuff in the low pressure ports.
So let me take that first. So this obviously is a regular. I mean, this is a regulator. This is a regulator. They look entirely different though. This is what everybody's used to over here, which would be a regular regulator. Now, what we can do with this is we can set up all different kinds of things, sort of an irregulator, if you will. Now, as you can see, we'll keep this one up here just so we can show the differences. Like normally you got the inlet, you got the outlet. But why does the inlet have to go right there? You could put it on.
Yeah, and guys, don't do this at home.
Well, people shouldn't have compressed cylinders at their house.
Yeah,
in the first place.
Don't do it at work either. It's probably better. You can easily have us configure your regulator,
Especially, I'm not even using Teflon tape with this. So this is all.
Right.
Yeah,
this is all. Yeah, we're not putting it. We're just.
So there's nothing stopping you from saying putting the inlet there, and then you could put the outlet right here. It looks a little odd. I don't know why you'd ever want to do this, but you could. Inlet here, and then it going back towards the cylinder for some reason, but that would be silly. But it is something you can do. You can also just go with an inlet and outlet, not even have gauges on it. I mean, the regulator works without gauges. No, that's okay. Regulators work without gauges, so this would be a working regulator. You'd have to plug up everything.
You probably need a nut on there.
Yeah, I mean, you would need the nut on there, but he doesn't want to stay on. So this right here is a working, functioning regulator, and it doesn't have any other little things on it. And also, I just want to add, just like the answer to the question for the customer was, he didn't mind turning it upside down. So that's something you could always do too. As you can see, the gauges, the gauges read upside down, but if you have no problem with doing that, no problem reading gauges like that. So that's always an option as well. Yeah. And then we also have gas watchers and things of that nature. This is something that I'm surprised, gas watchers and pulsa, which is something I'm surprised people don't order more of because it lets you know when your cylinder's empty. They are ordered on a lot of switchovers, but not on a lot of regular. So instead of a gauge, so you could have the gauge on the. Let's see. We're gonna go to the low ports. I'm gonna try to keep it the way it should be. So you can have a gauge on the low port.
Yeah. So that's your delivery pressure gauge.
That's your delivery pressure gauge, and on the high port, you can put a pulsa, which is it's
a Bluetooth pressure transducer. Mm-hmm. This one is rated to 3,000 psi. So you can use that for your inlet.
And you can look at the pressure of your cylinder on your phone.
Yeah, and that gets routed through, there's a gateway, they call it, and it's a cell phone base. So if you have cell phone service, you can put the gateway in there, and then you can access the readings on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer. It's really kind of neat. The only downside, it's probably better on the supply side than the delivery pressure side, because it takes readings about every 90 seconds.
So
and that's to save the life of the battery.
I know. So it's to say, so you turn it and you'd wait, see what the pressure was.
I know. So it's kind of.
So you wouldn't want to use it on the delivery side. And our gas watcher, if you still want to know what the pressure is by looking at it, the gas watcher has a display as well, and you know the pressure, and also will transmit it via Bluetooth to your.
That goes to a router.
It goes
It's
to
a
a
router
router now.
base and Ethernet connection, and that gets you get readings every 30 seconds on this, and that's keep the battery life lasting longer.
But yeah, anything your imagination can go with. Even if you wanted to, you could mix and match metals. We don't have any brass in here, do we?
Oh yeah, we do.
Oh, we do. If you want a colorful, if you want something colorful, you don't want the same thing, you can put some brass gauges on there and some mix it up a little bit.
Okay, I'm gonna play. You're done with your?
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm gonna build you a regulator here. And
you want any of this stuff?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the CJ fitting. Like I said, now what's nice about this is a single stage regulator, so you don't have the interstage port. So you have 3 high and 3 low.
So that leads to a little bit more. And I didn't even mention, and I should have mentioned, for the interstage port, we have a safety, we have a relief valve that you can get with it as well via our -S. These are pretty much what we're talking about, our -S regulators. I can't believe we haven't mentioned that yet. Go to our online store. It has some options in there, but if you talk to a salesman, you can do all kinds of things. So yeah. So
actually, we'll do the gauge here, and then we'll do. We got a VCR outlet fitting.
there you go.
So we'll put it there. And we have some customers that like the gauge oriented differently because that's the way they're looking at their system. So you could orient it that way. We got another low pressure port. You could stick a. I've got a vent valve in there. If you want to be able to vent it out, there's no valve here on this one.
And you know what would actually be cool with this one too? You could put a pulse on it so you could see it remotely, and you could see it.
Yeah, another high pressure port.
Another high pressure port.
So you can be fully loaded on this.
Yeah, you can get best of both worlds, a nice gauge. And
okay, and I'm going to have. Why do I have 2 different vent valves on here? But I did, so it's possible to do that.
It's possible. You have 2 different lines.
This is so this one's kind of odd looking, but you can do it this. No, the guy wants to have it this way.
Oh, he wants to have it that way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize. I didn't realize
So
that.
you got your CJ fitting on the high pressure port, and you got this is a low pressure port for your delivery pressure of your pressure regulator. So when you adjust the pressure, you'll see it on there. Or if you're looking this way. Then we have a pulse on the high pressure side. Yeah, so you can monitor your cylinder pressure.
Yeah, it's actually.
And then we got just no one. I don't think anybody would do this.
If you want to vent your cylinder.
No, we have a high pressure vent. So if you want to vent the high pressure side, you got that, and then we have a low pressure vent. So most likely you'd have this would be your outlet fitting, and then you would you'd plug this one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you could do something like that. Now, we've had people that that will reconfigure the regulators themselves, and they'll put the delivery pressure gauge, they might put it in the interstage port. And then it's like, I'm not reading any, I'm not, it's stuck at 350. Or we've had people put the delivery pressure gauge in the high pressure port in a line regulator. And then it's like you adjust the pressure and the gauge thing
doesn't work, yeah.
And you got low pressure, it's just.
Yeah, the very important thing is knowing what the ports are coming out, and they're all clearly labeled on it. So that's one major thing to know.
And if you want, and you can look at our, we have outline drawings on our online store, and they show the porting configurations.
Yes.
So if you have, if you want to look at that and be creative about, hey, I really want to have this, and this, we can make the regulator for you, and we do it as a -S regulator, modified regulator, and we could configure it to fit your needs.
Yeah, you can just put the porting HH, and you just say I want it on this port, this one, this, and this, and obviously if it's not going to work, we'll let you know.
Yeah.
But because like you always have to have the CGA in the high inlet.
And what's good about us doing is that we'll fully leak test this thing and make sure it works and so when you read it, the gauge actually will move when you change the delivery pressure.
Let the gas professionals make your regulators.
Yes, and you can all sorts of issues if you try to do it yourself. Oh, the other thing to kind of bring up on this is regulators have bonnet vent ports, and this is to protect the bonnet from overpressurization. Yes. So that is not a gauge port. That's not a, you don't plug that.
Yeah, this one's, it usually comes covered.
Yeah, we have, typically they'll come covered.
Yeah, and don't ever block that hole. If anything, the one thing you would do with it is pipe it away if it's a corrosive or flammable that you don't want to be building up in your inside. Okay. So yeah, so let your imaginations run wild.
Yep. Now the next question is, we had a question right after. Last week we talked about gauges. Someone wanted a calibrated gauge, so we kind of showed our test gauges. Probably should have taken it out of the bag. And then we had a question afterwards from somebody asked about, oh, how do you read a test gauge? And this is a test gauge, and it's and well, you look at it. No, this says.
What are test gauges for typically?
This is for systems that you really need to know really accurate pressure stuff. I was first introduced to these at a gas plant when they were filling gases, and you really needed to fill it to a certain pressure. Okay. This is accuracy of plus or minus 0.25% full scale, so it's really nice. And what they have is they've got it's mirrored in the back. So, and the needle's in red. So you move your eye, not eyes.
Yeah, one eye.
One eye, yeah, you just close the one eye.
Or wear an eye patch, you can choose. Yeah, you can do that if you want.
Yeah. And you look over the pointer, kind of on the outside diameter part. And you look at it and you get the reading until you see the red reflection disappear. So. Yeah, so you're looking straight on there. So we really can't show you how to do it there. But yeah, you look at it and you make sure that the reflection of the needle is hidden underneath the needle.
That means you're looking at it dead straight right on.
Dead straight right on. Or if you got your left eye, it'll be dead straight.
Yeah, I'm a left eye guy.
Are you a left eye?
I'm a left eye guy.
I'm a right eye guy. Really? Maybe it's because you're left-handed.
Well,
I don't know.
I do some things right, some things left.
Yeah.
But when I'm.
I also talked a little bit about accuracy. One of the questions last week was about if they could have a calibration certificate for one of our regulator pressure gauges. And you can't calibrate these things. We can't do a calibration certificate, but we can do a certificate of accuracy. And this is a 323 gauge. Yes. So that's plus or minus 3% full scale, the first quarter of the gauge, plus or minus 2%, the middle half, and then plus or minus 3% in the upper quarter. So we could give you a certificate of accuracy and tell you, yes, it is.
It is within those ranges.
It is within those ranges. So, and we didn't get any questions come in on the YouTube chat. That's all the questions we have for this week.
I hope it was more fun for you this week than normal.
Yeah. So please tune in again next week for another great episode of the Bill and Corey Show.
Set your VCRs.